Previously on Wonders and Blunders.
You hear howls outside. First, just one lonely howl, and then soon it's joined, just sort of in this symphony.
Somebody needs help.
Bree turns to the super large wolf and growls at it in draconic Welo Kaldaka and rushes towards it.
You see like a blur of motion behind the wolf, and then you hear it just like yelp out as the snow just like clears behind it, and you see it now limping on its back leg.
Let's check to see if there are any left. I'll dash in the direction of that last howl.
You would be able to pass Ben and get to the houses.
Yeah.
You can see one of the front doors has been knocked in, and one of the windows is smashed.
When he catches up parallel with the wolf, he's gonna like reach out and like grab onto the wolf and get his rapier around the wolf's neck and just pull.
Okay, with that, it just like collapses into the snow, and this massive form comes skidding to a stop right in front of Bree. As the snow like is kicked up, as it falls and hits the ground, the storm dissipates. So you defeated the giant wolf, Big Frig. So Bree and Star, you're standing over its body now. The storm that was surrounding it has completely subsided, so you hear the last couple of snowflakes hit the ground. You see the trees stop swirling and swaying back and forth. They're now cleared of snow, and the sun shines down again, and the sort of calm forest sounds start to creep back in around you. So Star and Bree, you guys are next to the downed wolf. Ben, Vaelin, and Rowan, you guys are at the ruined house. And Cara, now that the snow has subsided, you can see both of them. You're sort of in between those two parties.
I'm gonna keep jogging up to the wolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to investigate the wound I saw it take and start like limping. When I was chasing it, if I recall, it got wounded and started like limping or acting funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I was suspicious of that at the time.
Okay.
So I wanted to, medicine check the wound.
Medicine check, yeah.
Really good. 22.
22, okay.
Sweet.
So you go over and inspect that leg, and it takes a bit of finding, but you like you really finally go through the fur, and you can feel again this fur is like frigid. It's super thick, like it has a really thick hide. But through that you find two little puncture wounds on its leg. Very small, and they're not bleeding. But when you move around them, that area feels a little bit firmer. And you can feel like the leg was sort of seizing up on this wolf.
West Nile.
Invisible spider.
So this, to me as a player, I think this also probably, as Bree would think, like snake venom of some sort, or like.
It's definitely a venomous bite.
Okay.
With an over 20, you can definitely tell it's a venomous bite.
Okay, cool.
Venom or toxin. Yeah. It's an important distinction.
This would be... No, he got over a 20. He would know. It's not a rattlesnake bite.
Okay.
It's not like coagulating the blood.
Okay. So I look at Star and I say, something else attacked this.
What do you mean?
Here, look, as I kind of part the fur, there is a poison of some sort in it.
How big is it? How big are the holes?
They're pretty small. They're not
like
I would say like the size of a fantasy quarter.
Like a silver?
No. I feel like silvers are big. I don't know. And yeah, sure, a silver.
Of which empire is minting this?
I guess I'm wondering if it's like poison dart hole size, or if it's like, you know what I mean? It looks like a bite. Is that what you said earlier?
There are two punctures. Bree would recognize it as a bite. You can do a medicine check on it too if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, but it does it does kind of look like around the size of a poison dart, but you don't see any remnants of a dart anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's lots of dangerous snakes in the desert, but do they make it all the way up here? I mean, I don't think so.
In the middle of a blizzard?
Seems cold for snakes.
Yes,
Are you both all right?
of course. Bree is fine.
Nothing a little nap will take care of, you know? And I kind of stretch my shoulders out a little bit.
Okay.
You see Bree dust off some pretty crackled ice, I guess, from these frost bites, frosted breaths that she's been hit with. But she seems okay.
Okay.
And right behind you, Cara, Yuri is also running alongside. And he comes up and looks down at the wolf and he's like, "Hoo-wee! Wow! Good work! Jeez, this thing's huge. What did are we done? Did we do it?"
He's dead, yes.
Ah, good. All right. And he gives it a little kick and he's like, "I'm gonna go sit by the fire again. Good work, everyone.
Thanks, Yuri.
Yeah, peace out."
Yuri?
Yeah.
I just kind of gesture at I look at Bree and I just kind of gesture at the leg.
It was attacked by other creature.
Do we have to kill that too?
I don't know. I do not know what
But
other creature was.
You're more familiar with the area. Maybe you would know what could cause a bite like this.
Okay, well, let me take a look-see. That looks nasty. Jeez.
Yes, it's very bad.
Yeah. Did you... I know you bite things. Did you bite it?
I did, yes.
Problem solved.
Bree has more teeth than that.
I think it gives a big teethy smile, but it's kind of awkward smile.
Yuri's like, wow, scary. Okay. Yeah, well, that is more than 2. So you're right. No, I don't know. I don't know what this is.
Who in town would know of a creature who does this?
Maybe.
Well, you could check with the hunters, maybe.
What of small gnome? He knows poison?
Yeah,
Yes, he
that's
make
true.
poison, yes?
That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, who cares? I mean, in the long run, it's dead, and it's dead. The day is saved. We can sort of march back into town, the saviors of the day. Who cares?
That's my
who
kind of
else did it?
attitude right there. I like that idea.
Bree would
I
like to
high
know
five. I reach out to high five Yuri.
Yeah, he watches the elbow. It's solid.
if... Bree would like to know if meat is good to eat.
This fur is nice too.
Yes, it's very good.
I should say this too, actually. When you check it out with the medicine check, you sort of go over, while you're inspecting to see how far this poison has, moved through the body. You also notice on its back, in a slightly different shade of white, almost like a white silver, you find, a rune in the fur coloring. Yeah, it starts out as just a strange discoloration, and you kind of think maybe it's the poison, but then as you move, you see there's a definite pattern to it.
Which I would notice to be strange and unusual to have on a wolf.
Yeah, too. It doesn't look like natural patching or a predator's camouflage or anything.
Can I see this from the ground?
Yeah, it's on the ground. Yeah,
Okay.
I
I'd like to run back and get my journal to sketch it out.
sure.
I think I would also grab Yuri and say, Yuri, do you know symbol?
No. I do not. Never seen that before.
Okay. I will ask others. And Bree just kind of grabs the wolf and not quite hoisted up over her shoulders, but as much as she can with a couple of legs, and just
Front
starts
paws.
dragging it back to the village.
Okay. So, Cara, you ran ahead to go to the village, so we'll do that in a second. I'm just going to jump over to the house. So you've all moved inside of this house. The window's been shattered. The door has been knocked down. And you all just sort of stepped inside. Ben, I think you got in there first. You didn't hear or see anything when you got inside.
Right. So Ben is like, hello? He's kind of shivering.
Yeah, you don't hear a response.
And this is the house we saw people get, or or we heard people get ripped away from, we think?
It's safe to assume you look, because you saw the other houses nearby. Now that the storm is gone, you see the other houses aren't, like, destroyed.
Is there any blood in the snow near the front door?
You can do survival or perception.
Okay, I think I'll do survival.
While he's doing that, could Vaelin do just an investigation to see, like, who owns this house?
Yeah.
Who lives here?
Yeah.
14.
14. There is some blood outside, in the snow outside. And you also see, with a 14, you can see that there are, like, wolf prints around the outside here and a couple of footprints. And you see that the footprints run away from the house.
Okay, yeah, I'll just point. Ben just goes, they ran this way. They were hurt. Rowan, you want to come with me?
Well, I think before we take off too far into the snow, I want to do a quick look and see if there's any signs that maybe something else was taken, or that there's more to this than
And so
just
I
a
got
wolf.
16 on the investigation.
Okay, so you make your way around the inside. It's a fairly small house. You can see the kitchen in here has been, a lot of the, like, pots and pans and knives and stuff have been scattered all over the room. And you see a sword case is open and empty.
It looks as though whoever lives here is hopefully capable of defending themselves, at the very least.
Yeah, you actually see alongside the sword case too, there is an empty spot for a shield on the wall. And you also see, like, sort of a almost like a mannequin that looks like it's there for holding armor. There's some it looks like old adventuring gear has been displayed here.
And it's gone now?
It's gone, yeah.
But in any case, if they're facing some of those wolves alone, they may need assistance.
We should go. We can follow them.
Well, I agree, but I think running off blind is not going to help anybody. Let's take a quick second to see if maybe there's another sign of entry or something. Like I said, something more to it. Just some
Rowan, they
wolves.
might be hurt. There's blood here.
I agree.
They ran away.
I agree. I'm not arguing with you, but I'm just saying that if we run into an ambush or we run into something that's over our heads, we're not helping them and they're not helping us. So let's just take a quick second and get some bearings.
Very good. You do that. I'll see if I can contact the others. Do I feel like I know the relative direction that Bree was in last?
If you look outside now, I think you can see them starting to head back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll cast message. So I'll pull out the glass orb and sort of bring up a sort of an image of Bree in the orb and speak into it. And then you, in your head, you would hear, Bree, we believe that there's a member of the village who may be in danger. We think we can track them.
Okay, why?
casts the cantrip again. Because we could help them. Please, join up with us here at the house. Ben has found their tracks. And get the others.
Why can they not help self?
Vaelin
Bree is still, like, moving in your general direction with the wolf.
Vaelin will then cast a message to Cara. Cara, please, we've got signs of a villager in trouble. Please get Star and the others to help us. We're going to go track them down.
Where are you?
Cast message again. Actually, I can see them, can't I?
You can see them, yeah.
Casting message. Look over to your right, and I'll be waving my arms wildly.
Okay, yeah. So you can see the front now. So when you look over towards Vaelin, like jumping up and down to you, you also see the two wolves that are nearby, the two dead wolves on the ground, and this house with the door knocked down and the window shattered.
Okay. I'm going to ignore the part of the message that says get the others, and I'm just going to jog towards Vaelin.
Okay. So yeah, you see, like, Cara just, like, leisurely jogging and then change direction and start heading towards you.
Ben, seeing Cara starting to come, starts following the trail.
Okay.
While they're doing that, I'm going to do a quick investigation on the house and see if there's another sign of entry or something, because I know wolves don't behave this way, and so I have some suspicions.
Sure.
I'm going to look at Star and say, Vaelin wants to go off in woods. I do not understand.
Wait, what? What was his reason? Just for fun?
Chase more wolf.
Oh. Why?
I don't know. He hungry?
Oh. Does he need help?
He asked for help. But...
Oh,
it is important that Vaelin learn to hunt alone.
I'm going to think about that. I'll go check, just to be sure.
When Cara arrives, why didn't you bring the others?
They can think for themselves, can't they?
Did you at least tell them?
No.
How are they supposed to know that I need their help? Ben is running off into the woods alone. Come, let's go.
So Ben isn't running into the woods. Ben is running back towards, like, the steady stream.
Is that where the tracks go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben's running towards the inn on its own.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So you're like watching the tracks as you go down.
And like Ben would also like stop and look back
Yeah.
and just be like, "Come on!"
Yeah. I start following Ben.
Okay. So
I'm gonna peel off from Bree and go towards wherever Vaelin is.
Okay. So you guys are sort of like gathering in a big group as Bree continues to drag the.
I think as the two of them peel
We're
off,
like
I
in
like
parallel
slowly also
lines.
like feel, I'm just like, oh, like okay,
It's still dragging the wolf.
still dragging the wolf the whole
This
time.
big, massive wolf just just flopping around in the snow. Rowan, what did you get on your investigation?
15.
15. You like look around. You see like a door to a root cellar, and you open that up. But when you sort of peek down inside, with the limited light that's down there, it looks like it's just stoned in. You can't really see. There is a back door which has been like a table's been pushed up against it, but you don't see any other ways in.
Well, that's a pickle. And I'll go out and track them down.
Okay. So you all start to follow Ben, who's following the footprints. And the footprints go over near the stables and then sort of make a quick turn back towards the inn. And as you follow them, it seems like they go right into the inn.
Well, I mean, they got to safety.
Run on in.
Okay. So you get to the door, and around the corner, like as you're getting there, you start to hear a voice a little off in the distance that says, "Oh yes, of course, never fear, never fear. I've had the entire situation under control the whole time. You're in good hands." And then around the corner of the inn, you see Bart come around with a lumber worker in tow, who's just kind of like, "Oh, thank you so much, Mister. What should I call you? Oh, the Watcher. Call me the Watcher, please. It's what most people." And he says, "Oh, well, thank you, Mister Watcher. I was in a real tight spot there." And he comes around the corner and sees you, Ben, and says, "Oh, hello, young one. You stayed safe?"
No.
That's
It was someone was hurt. We were finding. They came here.
Oh, well, not in this direction, surely. Everyone under my watch is safe.
Do I see any blood drops?
You do see like a little blood drop going in. It doesn't look like they were bleeding very badly.
Okay.
But it goes into the through the front door.
Okay. Do I see any like in the steady stream itself? Do I see any drops?
You're not inside yet.
Oh, they're coming out.
They're coming from around the back side of the inn.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ben goes in to the steady stream. He just kind of says that to Bart and then ignores him and follows the trail inside.
Okay, so you open the door, and as it starts to creak open, you just hear a bunch of voices go, "Wait!" And make a dex save.
Oh, shit.
Shit. 10.
10? Okay, you get You like open the door and a pot swings down and smashes on your chest, and you get covered in centipedes.
Fido, you motherfucker!
He protect.
Where did these centipedes from?
He's had him the whole time.
I slept in a bedroom with them.
So they, what's your AC?
17.
17? Okay. They crawl on you and start trying to bite, and you just kind of like brush them. And
Stop,
they
drop, and
go
roll.
in a
Stop,
heap
drop, and
on the
roll.
ground. And Bart goes like, "Look out, little one," and pushes you aside, and then just like puts his hands together in a triangle, and a like gout of flame just eviscerates them and turns them to dust on the ground. And he says, what is going on here? And from inside you hear like,
Yeah, Ben pops his head around the corner. He's covered in snow.
Yeah.
Pushed.
Yeah.
Is Bido standing there?
Yeah, you see Bido up on a table, like with his hands, like in little fists, like looking out the door, and then he sees the centipedes, and he just goes, "Oh, oh, oh," and
Bido!
immediately you see Sky come over and just push Bido off the table and go like, "What did I tell you? I told you this was going to be more trouble than it was worth." And he's like, "How could I help?" And he says like, "Oh, should I take down the other ones?" And you see there's like,
Yes.
like as you look around quickly, you see there's a table that's been like lifted up off the ground above one of the windows so that if someone came through, it would fall and smash them. And he's just like generally trapped out the inside of the
He's so
inn.
talented.
So much promise.
And Yuri sort of like comes up and pushes Bart out of the way and comes inside and says like, what did you do? Sky, I left you in charge. And she says, well, he thought it was a good idea. I don't know, at the time it seemed like an okay idea. And the rest of you sort of come in and you can see Deba over in the corner and a bunch of people sort of gathered around this family. And Vaelin, you saw this was the family that ran past you that Deba escorted to the inn. So these are the tracks that you've been following.
Okay. So there weren't a separate set of tracks of like someone getting dragged away.
No, not getting dragged away. He saw footprints getting up from the front area and running this way. And you see them sort of surrounded by people who are sort of checking in on them. Ben, you see Megan L.
Sword Megan? Or?
Sword Megan, yeah.
Right on.
And she's her and her mother and father are sort of over in the corner. And she still has the sword sort of sitting next to her on the table. When she sees you come in, she like waves.
Yeah, Ben waves and runs over to her. Hey, are you guys okay?
Yeah, we're fine. They like came through the windows and the doors, and I grabbed the sword, and my mom took the sword from me, and then she used it. But I got like a pan, and I started hitting one of the wolves, and I grabbed my dad and almost pulled it away, and then, and she kind of like gets quiet for a second and looks around, and she says, and then something or someone dragged the wolf away into the snow, and it just gave us a second to get away. I thought I saw one of your friends when we were running back. Did you guys do that?
We killed a lot of wolves, but I don't think any of us did that.
Oh, I thought a ghost was going to be the scariest thing I saw this week, but apparently wolves are scarier than ghosts.
Maybe the ghost got the wolf. How many ghosts are there in the town?
Well, I thought none, and then I thought 2, and now I think 1.
Okay.
And I don't think she'd help us. I still think she's evil.
Are you hurt? Are you guys hurt at all?
I'm okay. My mom got bit and dragged while she was fighting them off with the sword, but then the wolf got pulled away. And
I could help her.
Yeah.
I think.
And you turn around and you can see that they've again like started doing their best with like rags and stuff to dress the wound, but you can see that she's kind of holding it and grimacing. But there's a general like sort of happy relief is like the feeling inside here. Like people are talking, but now that they've sort of seen that everyone's okay, there's sort of this sigh of relief going through, and people are starting to laugh. And she's kind of like even joking about it, like she's like, "Oh, I've been bitten by a dog before. It's okay. There's nothing too much." And you can see there's like blood seeping through her fingers, though. It's a pretty bad bite.
All right, Ben's gonna go over and just be like, and he's still like a little owl.
Yeah. So the conversation quiets a little bit as you come through, but
I think I can help your bite with magic. And then Ben kind of like shrugs.
And she like looks over and Megan runs over next to her and sort of leans in and is like, he's got magic. I mean, look at him. And she says, well, I won't say no. It's quite painful.
All right, yeah. Ben takes slowly takes the rags and moves them all away, and then he puts his hands to it and casts Cure Wounds. She heals for 7 HP.
Okay, so yeah, you see the wounds completely seal up, and she like flexes her leg and moves it back and forth, and she's like, well, that is quite amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, there's just kind of like, as Ben is holding his hands around it, there's like kind of almost a vibration, and it like as the wounds heal, they seem to be like in reverse, almost like moving backwards.
Yeah, and she like flexes it and says like, thank you very much. And you feel a hand on your shoulder, and you turn and you see Yuri sort of giving you this proud look, and he sort of squeezes your shoulder a little bit, and he's like, well, I bet everybody's pretty hungry. Let's what do you say we order some grub up in here? I know we probably all skipped breakfast to almost die to wolves, so how about that? And everyone kind of like nods and starts like getting up, and you see Sky pushing Bido towards traps as he like untraps the entire room.
Yeah, while that's happening, I definitely have like walked over to Bido, and I think when he first got shoved off the table, I sort of like helped him to his feet. And yeah, as he's getting shoved towards the traps to undo them, I'm just kind of like admiring the traps. Like, that's actually very impressive, Bido. Quite ingenious, actually.
Oh yeah, I would have liked to use more spiders, but there were less spiders than I was hoping for in here, so
And now,
I used the last of my centipedes, so that stupid man.
I'm sorry that the stupid man had killed all of your centipedes, but I do want to remind you, I thought that we had an agreement.
Oh, I don't steal anything.
That's excellent, but what were my instructions to you?
Well, you did not tell me not to trap. And it was not even my idea. I ask if I can help, and they say that I can help.
And he like points over and he says,
Which one that? The one that looks like Fuzzy Boss?
Sky?
Yes, that one. I say, Fuzzy Boss, can I help? She says, how you help? And I say, I trap. And she say, okay.
Well, then I take it back. Excellent work.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you.
I'm very, very impressed. Well done.
You did a pretty good job.
I'll start helping him dismantle as well as I can.
okay, yeah, they're pretty simple. They were set up by a tiny lizard.
Can I assume that Rowan has come in at this point?
Yes, yeah. You all kind of came as a group. Ben had to slow down a little bit while Bart was boasting at him.
Mm-hmm. Do I see Bridget at all?
What does Bart look like he was doing?
You see this one lumber worker who is with him is like fawning over him at this point in time.
Does he have any blood nearby? Like, is there, like, does he look like he put up in a fight?
He looks
exerted?
immaculate. He looks like still perfectly groomed. You could see like a hair sort of fell out of place when he burned all the centipedes, but he quickly like combed it back up under his big hat.
Was it with like a switchblade comb?
Yes. It wasn't, but absolutely. Yeah. If this guy had a wand, it would be a switchblade comb.
Bart is so cool.
Yeah, Bart's the best. When Yuri sort of like tries to get everybody in good spirits, Bart says, "Well, I don't often agree with my friend here, but on this case, I have to agree. Let's have a few drinks and try to forget this whole business, nasty business of wolves. Maybe exchanging tales of our Combat, huh? How about that? I know I had quite a tussle out the back. My friend here can attest to that. Isn't that right, Dan? And he's like, it's Dave. Yes, Dan, of course. Why don't you tell them exactly how I saved you? And he starts to sort of dive into this story. What were you going to do, Rowan?
I'm looking around for Bridget.
She's not there.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I am going to come up to... I'm going to kind of get... If anyone's looking at me, I'm going to get like a little bit of a grin, and you can kind of see me got to touch my brother and nod a little bit. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to find wherever Baito is. And I'm going to head up. I'm like, well, hey, Baito, I see that you've been quite busy in here with these traps.
So you see, it's Baito and Vaelin are both like lowering one of the big tables back to the ground so it doesn't crush anybody.
Yeah. I think maybe if you can help like this, maybe you can help a little more. Would you mind giving me a hand with something? And I'll look at Vaelin and kind of give him a wink as well.
I hope it doesn't need centipedes.
Does not need centipedes. Although, you know,
I can help them.
that's great. Now, there were two things you were really good at. You told me. I've seen you be really good at many things, but there was two you mentioned. And one was trapping, and what was the other one?
Dig.
That's right. It was digging.
All right.
I've got a little bit of digging for you, if you don't mind following me.
He starts like twitching and getting really excited and like flexing his fingers.
Just a moment, Baito. Rowan.
Well, what I'm thinking is we take advantage of this little bit of a diversion, and well, maybe we take Baito down to that mysterious door down in the basement.
I must admit that I'm extremely curious, but
Oh, that curiosity's gotta be digging.
it may not be any of our business. We agreed with Yuri to let him speak to Bridget about this before we press the issue any further.
I see what you're saying, and I appreciate that. But I think, considering what's at stake here and the kinds of problems we run into since we've come to this town, I think if we don't soon take matters into our own hands, I think they might become a little too big for us to handle.
You feel as though this wolf attack is in some way related?
Well, I haven't spent a lot of my time around wolves. That's more on my great aunt Hibiscus. But one thing I have learned about wolves is that they don't usually act like this.
Well, certainly not. But it seems a leap to assume that Bridget's secret door is in some way responsible.
Well,
Secret door. We're in the secret door.
there is, Baito. There's a secret door downstairs. But now,
Secret door.
and I think you and I should visit that door, but perhaps we should also maybe bow to Vaelin's wisdom and maybe give it, I'm going to say, one more day for her to give us some explanation, at the very least, as to why she's so reticent.
I'd feel much more comfortable if we gave her the opportunity to fully explain. After facing death at the jaws of some wolves, I've started to wonder if maybe we shouldn't address it directly head on, even more directly than we have yet.
Well, I will admit that curiosity is burning a hole in the back of my mind, and I do like being direct about things when we can be direct. But if you wish, we'll wait a little bit longer. But then, Baito, me and you, we've got a date by a mysterious door.
When?
Wait, give us one day.
And I'll like hold up my one finger and be like, one day, Baito, and then it's me and you.
You must be tired after your busy night last night and a busy morning.
I'm never too tired to dig.
I would appreciate it if we could exercise some caution here.
What?
And then he just said,
One day. Okay, I can wait a day.
and he like goes over and starts looking out the window and just watching the sun. And he's just like squinting. Squinting out the window. You just hear him like,
Ow, one day. Oh, digging. Yes.
So Ben would he went over by the hearth and took off his coat, which is now like soaking wet, and just like drops it in a big pile next to and is kneeling very close to the fire, just like rubbing his hands and
yeah, and you notice too that you have a pretty nasty scar on your leg, even though you Cara have healed your wound. There's still kind of a nasty scar left there, and you can see it through the these too short already pants that have now been also shredded by the wolf teeth.
Yeah. So I guess actually, yeah, he'd kind of be sitting cross-legged and just sort of like rubbing his leg and like looking at it and gazing into the fire.
Is Kadgi in the
Not in the inn, no.
Is Deba in the inn?
Deba is, yeah.
Okay, so I think Bree would kind of come in dragging this huge wolf.
Yeah, everyone's like,
Just kind of like throw it on one of the tables, then look around the room, see Deba, and just walk up to him and kind of look him up and down for a minute in silence.
Terrifying.
hello there.
Hello. He will do. Come with me.
What?
I turn around and go back to the wolf on the table.
He's like, he kind of looks around. He's like, well, okay. Makes his way over.
You are biggest. You fight most things. Here, look at this. And I flip it over and point out the 2 bites on it.
And he sort of leans in, and he'll make he says, well, that's a bite there. A couple of little, looks precise.
Is snakes in snow?
I can't say I ever saw no snake, no.
What would cause?
Well, I ain't never seen nothing like this, unfortunately. I'm sorry I can't be much help on that.
What of this? And I just grab the wolf and flip it over again and kind of trace the different slightly silvered hairs on its back.
Okay. And he says, well, that's an interesting looking pattern there. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry.
Who would know?
Jeez. Something like this, I'd talk to maybe one of the hunters, maybe the...
You are not hunter?
No, I work...
You are biggest.
Well, yeah, but...
Why you not hunt?
Well, I got... Jeez.
Do you not provide for village?
I bring quite a bit of cash into this village. I think so. I've run things pretty steady at the mill. It's kind of our lifeblood here.
Lifeblood is what you eat. Lifeblood is blood.
Well, I was thinking more in like a metaphorical sense. Lifeblood being, what keeps the town. So like money rolling through, which is how we live.
You eat money?
I mean, not directly, but it buys things that we eat. I mean, the hunters usually do. I guess they do keep us. Jeez. I did kind of move away to get away from all that money grubbing. Jeez.
I will find hunter.
All right.
Do not touch. Do not touch.
Breeze is leaving a trail of people questioning the right.
Just self-doubt.
And he's like, maybe I should build a cottage.
And I think Bree just steps back out of the inn to go looking for hunters or Kadgi.
Okay. So you immediately you wouldn't see any hunters, but you could start moving towards, or you would know the one hunter who came back who got injured in the. She is in the.
There is injured. That's no use to me. Yeah, I go to Kadgi's house.
Kadgi's house. Yeah. Okay. So you'll make your way to Kadgi's house. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna bring my journal down from upstairs and start sketching the pattern on the back of the wolf.
Okay.
Would I notice the pattern on the back of the wolf?
Yeah, no one told her it was.
Yeah.
I mean, probably once I start sketching it.
Because we're all busy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
why I'm thinking might draw my attention to it.
Yeah, if you're looking around the room, yeah, and I'm gonna kind of like throw this out as a general rule for this is like if no one's specifically trying to be hidden, like if you're in the same room, you guys know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like it's especially here, like it's a small room. Unless you have a reason you think you wouldn't be able to see it.
You would hear Bree.
Like, what's not quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, so then...
Yeah, I think you would also, just see Bree breaking someone else's spirit about how their feelings of how useful they are. But, like, I think for me, like, I want all of you to be in as many scenes together as possible.
Okay.
So you can see each other doing stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll walk over, put my hand on David's shoulder, and be like, I've been there.
He's like, well, you got quite a different set of values on that one. I don't know who's right.
It's honestly, it is in many times refreshing. But what is that there? Can I do an Arcana check on that rune? Ooh, not great. That's going to be a 13.
13. You definitely recognize that it is a magic rune.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what it does, and you've never seen. You don't know how something like this could be applied to a living animal.
Yeah.
It does remind you of rune work that you've seen on magic items before, but you've never seen anything like this.
I'll look.
Do you know what this is?
It appears that this beast was in some way enchanted. It's not clear to me whether this is natural or I've never heard of a living creature being enchanted.
Nature check.
You can do nature, yeah.
Okay. That's a 19.
A 19.
It's lower than average for you.
Yeah.
I have a 0 on nature. So.
Oh, so you rolled a 19.
Yeah.
That's not great. I mean, with a 19, it's definitely not. It didn't grow this itself. This is not a natural. This wolf, however it got this, it something else must have done it.
Okay. And it's not. It's clearly not a regular wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess you could get that too. This is not like the other wolves. And kind of retroactively thinking back on the fight, it was kind of stalking the outside. It was more intelligent. It was clearly in charge. It's not your regular sort of run of the wool mill.
Run of the wolf.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
Yeah.
You gotta watch out for those wool milfs.
Oh, they'll get you. They're running. Running right towards you. Quickest milfs you ever did see.
Covered in wool.
It's a very strange wolf. It was much too smart and very aggressively unkind.
And it appears that someone or something has bestowed some of its power upon it, as if there's someone else out there with evil intent against this town. And I look at Deba for a reaction to that.
He's still. He's like, I guess I could move closer to the mountains. I could catch something if I needed to, right?
Where's Benjamin right now?
At the fireplace, inspecting his wound.
Yeah, just looking into the fire, trying to warm up.
Yeah.
Vaelin? Sorry. Vaelin, have you ever... Can animals be modified by magic?
Could I do a history on that, or is that an Arcana?
I think from your Arcana before, that it doesn't. It's probably not impossible, but you've never heard of it.
There's really no telling the limits of what the weave is capable of, but I've certainly never heard tell of it.
This is very strange wolf.
I worry about what else is out there, sending this at us.
It seemed very independent. I don't know. It could have been after us for itself.
But it certainly didn't enchant itself.
I suppose not. No, this pattern bears investigation.
Certainly.
So Star, when you come back inside, you sort of get rushed immediately by dust. And
I just grab him and swing him up on my shoulders.
And he's grabbing your ears and turning your head towards the big wolf. And he's like, "What is that? What is that?"
Which one do you think took it down?
Oh, I know who took it down.
You know, and then I like swing him off again, and like,
You killed
and then I start like describing to him in intricate detail, like all of the minutes of the fight, like pretty much eliding any contribution that Bree had from it.
And he's like, he's writing it all down viciously, and then gets so caught up in the story afterwards that he just starts like fencing you with his pen. He starts like growling like the wolf basically, and trying to act out the entire thing with you. As you both just start sort of, and
I'm gonna like fence him back with like my finger and like switch the pen out of his, like rapier style, switch the pen out of his hand and like poke him in the chest.
Yeah, and he just starts like spewing fake blood out of his chest and like gruesomely dies on the ground. And like Light comes over and is like, "Oh no, look, you got him again, and like picks him up by his back legs and starts like shaking him. And is like, "Oh no, he's dead." And Dust is like,
"Oh, the wolf is dead. Maybe we could get Bree to, cut him up and make him for dinner."
And he's like, "No!" And just starts like freaking out. And you put him down, and he sort of like scrambles, like gathers up all of his stuff and goes and sits next to Ben by the fire, and starts writing in the journal.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna when that happens, I'm gonna try and pull Light aside, and I'm gonna ask, so how did it go in the cabin? Was everyone safe?
Yes, it was quiet. The Bridget left Yuri in charge, and then Yuri left and left Sky in charge.
Do I remember Bridget leaving?
No, Bridget was still in there when all of you left.
Yeah, Bridget left. Where did she go?
There was scratching at the back of the cabin. Her and Bart went out to check it out.
Ah, I see. Did she come back?
And she looks around like,
no, not yet.
And Bart is still here.
Bart is back. Bart came around the corner from the back of the...
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm also... Oh, and Sky? Sky is good as well?
And Sky's there next to you, and she says,
"Yes, I made a bit of an error allowing the kobold to trap the cabin. But at the time, I thought it was sound reasoning."
Frankly, it seemed like a good idea.
Thank you.
I think you did well.
No one was hurt, so...
Yes. Okay, well, good. Keep an eye on Dust. I think there's something mysterious going on around here.
Very well.
And they sort of head over and just sit in the area near Dust, but he's face and eyes in his book now.
Actually, before they get away too, I kind of want to grab Light and be like, and keep an eye on Bridget. And if you see anything unusual, let me know.
Okay, I will.
And yeah, they go and sort of sit down, and you see them kind of like looking around, and like when you say keep an eye on Bridget, like Light sort of starts to think to see if she's seen anything, but yeah, sort of shakes her head and heads off.
Okay, and then I'll walk over and rejoin. Well, I guess I'll pull Vaelin aside. Well, no, Rowan aside, because we were the ones he was the one who's kind of doing the major interrogation downstairs, and just sort of mention that Bridget also left. Just say what Light told me.
Yeah, I've noticed she's not around right now. That's that's curious.
Do you think there's something nefarious going on? Something we need to investigate?
To be honest,
or can I have a nap first?
Oh, Star, you know you can have a nap anytime you like. But to be honest with you, Star, the more I think about this, I don't think Bridget's nefarious. I think she's one end of a bit of maybe a fight that's going on. I think she's one end of something else, and I don't think... I think she's got the best intentions of... I think she's got good intentions, and I think she's trying to do her best to keep this town afloat. I really do. I just wish she'd take us into her confidence a little.
Okay. But if you need anything, just let me know.
Oh, absolutely, Star. Thank you. And I'm going to head over to...
And then I'll... Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm going to head over to Benjamin.
Okay.
And I'm just going to, like, I'm like, wait, you're like sitting in front of the fire, right? I'm way too tall, so I like kind of like crouch down, but that feels awkward. So then I just sort of like sit down, and I'll look into the fire for a little bit, and I'm like, Benjamin, thank you for what you did out there. I was down, and you picked me right back up, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
How you feeling?
Foolish.
Foolish? You were on top of things when I saw you. What makes you feel foolish?
Well, we almost think we could have died.
Yeah, we could have, but we didn't. And some of that's because of you.
It was Cara who saved me.
That didn't stop you, though.
No.
You know, you can always tell how big someone is by what it takes to discourage them. And you were knocked low before I was, but you got right back up, right back into the fray. I think that says a lot.
Thank you.
Well, I came here to thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
And I'll just kind of look into the fire and just kind of stay with Benjamin for a little while.
Okay. You notice out of the corner of your eye, Dust is like sketching you, the two of you. Bree, let's go over to Cadgey's house. So you...
Because you just want to smash cut to me returning with Cadgy?
Oh, you're pulling him out? Or?
Yeah, I was going to bring him back to look at the wolf.
Okay, yeah. So the door flies open. Bree is holding Cadgy by the robe. And Cadgy's like, I can walk. I could...
Tiny legs, too slow. Bree is tired, not enough time. And I plop Cadgy just down on the bench next to the wolf.
And he's like, oh!
This, here. And I pull the leg out and show, here's 2 little bites.
And he's like, ugh. Yeah, that's nasty.
Big man say there is no snake.
No, not around here. Oh, that'd be great.
And
I could
meat
use
is
2 snakes.
Meat is maybe not good. And I kind of poke at the stiffened joints and everything there around the wound.
And he's like, yeah, it looks like, it doesn't look like it was bitten by something. It looks like the muscles here are all seized up. Do you have and he kind of like reaches for your dagger. You have like a bone dagger.
Yeah, I have it's actually a beach glass, made of beach glass.
Oh, okay. So he's like, may I?
Yes, and I give it to him, not handle first. Like I just like pointed at him.
He reaches around the back. And in his hand, it's pretty huge, and he starts like trying to delicately, like to get a sample of the area, and you can see him like he like cuts a little bit and goes like, and starts like gagging as he does it. Gross, and he cuts a little piece off, and like gives it a squeeze and gives it a smell, and he's like, "Hi, this is definitely some sort of poison." I can take it back and take a look and see, exactly what it's all about.
Yes, I think that would be best. But also, while you are here, and I just again grab the wolf and like flip it over to its other side and trace out the rune on its back. He's not normal for a wolf.
And he takes a look at that. He says, "Oh yeah, that's definitely runic. That's weird. Yeah.
Do you know what the rune is?
I don't. No, I've never...
If I could start casting Detect Magic as a ritual, I would like to start doing that, please.
Okay. Yeah, we can say you've been doing that for a little while, unless there's something he just said that keyed that off.
Just reminded me that, it might be magic. I might be able to at least tell what school it is.
Yeah, right, okay. So he says, I don't know what it does, but yeah, it looks intentional. And he's like, I'm pretty excited about this, honestly. Can I?
Yes. Go.
Okay.
Go.
And he like walks outside. He's like, "Can you carry me back?" Sort of like wades back out into the snow, and you see him take back off towards that little stump.
I think also now with the dagger out, that's reminding me that I just go to start preparing the wolf like on the table.
Yeah, and people are like, "Come on!" like you've been flopping. They've been talking, and you flop the wolf over, and like this massive wolf head like lands on someone's table, and the tongue lolls out the side. And they're like, "Oh god!" And then you keep
They're all
flipping
moving and swapping to other tables.
Yeah, and like every time they move, you flop it over in another direction, and it's huge, so it takes up like a lot of the front area. And Deva turns around, he's like, "Okay, now, there's a place and time for everything, and this is not the place for this."
Where do you dress your meat?
The hunters use the stables.
Okay, I will go to stables.
I'll come with you. I want to finish drawing the fur.
I look up from the book and like the orb. My like, just one moment, please. I'm almost ready.
And the ritual finishes. So you look up, you see the pelt is glowing but fading.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a faded evocation magic from the rune.
Mm-hmm. So all I'm able to confirm is that the storm that we witnessed was certainly related to this rune on the wolf's pelt. It's certainly magical.
And I guess I didn't do this before, but I guess everybody, you would have seen, so you know Ben has magic stuff, you know Rowan's.
Yeah, I think you
brother
have done that
T.
before, actually.
Does anyone else have magic things on them that would be noticed?
Yuri?
Yuri does. Yuri's hat is magic, and his cloak is magic.
What school?
The cloak is enchantment, the hat is divination.
Cloak, enchantment, hat, divination.
You would also see Bart goes up like a torch. He has his cloak is also magic, and that is conjuration. His hat is divination, and his gloves are evocation.
Awesome.
I guess also my amulet is glowing. I don't know if we
Your holy symbol?
My holy symbol.
Right.
I don't know what school that would be.
Enchantment.
Enchantment?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a focus, but I don't think it glows unless it's specifically enchanted.
Yeah, I think it would. It probably does glow.
I think
Like,
I assume an
like
arcane focus would
not-
glow.
Yeah.
Not so my staff is like
Your focus?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything on Deba?
No, not on Deva.
Cool. Another secret.
Oh, you
that-
get the sword.
the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sword is also divination.
Cool.
Megan's sword?
Yeah.
As soon as they said the sword case was open, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
but they forgot to lock that.
Yeah, a wolf has the sword.
The most dangerous game.
they're really terrible with their security about that sword.
Yeah.
Divination. Interesting.
So the three of us go off. Two of us go off to the stables.
I mean
You're dragging the big wolf.
Yeah, I'm going out to just dress it.
Ben actually perks up and kind of says to Rowan, like, I kind of want to, like, to watch Bree do whatever she's going to do to the wolf.
Rowan is still staring into the fire, and he's like, "Yeah, I bet whatever Bree gets up to is quite a show."
They
Okay.
wouldn't let me ever see what they did to the animals when they had a hunt in my family.
Oh, is that so? Was there a reason for that?
Said I was too young.
Ah, well, I suppose that's fair enough. Well, no time like the present.
And Ben like picks up his coat and it's still soaking wet. And he's like, like slurps it on.
Okay. So who's
The
going to the
worst, putting on a
stables?
wet coat.
Ben, Vaelin, Cara, and Bree. And
I'm
Rowan.
super falling asleep by the fire.
Yeah,
You're gone again.
I think I want to stay for
Classic,
when Bridget comes in.
Okay.
That's also really why I'm here.
Yeah. When they leave, especially when Vaelin leaves, you see Bito's head just like rotate away from the window, and his eyes are like watering and squinted closed, but he's just looking at you
Yeah.
when everyone leaves. So we'll go over to the so you go to the stables.
As we step outside, Vaelin, you feel like a little tug at your robe. And he's just like, can you magic my coat?
Oh my goodness, yes, of course. Sorry, in the confusion and all the hubbub,
Oh, it's okay.
I hadn't thought to do that for anyone. Here you go. And I'll cast Prestidigitation to warm up and dry out Ben's clothes.
Okay.
Ben does like a full body shake and like kind of puffs like. Oof.
And how are you, Cara?
I'm damp.
Yeah, I'll.
Yeah.
Anyone who accepts.
Everyone gets undamped as you make your way over.
I think
Classic.
also the owl form faded by the fire.
Okay.
And as we walk over, I'll sort of share. Actually, I've just thought of another ritual that I might be able to try. If Kadgi seemed to confirm that the bites are poisonous,
Yes.
if given a bit of time and part of this animal's corpse, I should be able to detect the presence of any poisonous creatures.
Lucky feet are a nice tradition.
It's very large. I was thinking maybe the ear or something like that.
There is much of meat that is not good to eat.
Yes. Just needs to be able to flex and move.
There's no muscles in the ears. It's in the skull.
I think that it should still work.
Why not I give muscle of leg that has bite and poison?
That might make sense. Yes, we'll start there.
Good. Vaelin has worst part of it.
So when you come into the, you sort of like push through the back doors of the stable. You've seen the hunters come in and out of there before when you were sleeping there overnight, or not sleeping there overnight specifically. Oh yeah, did I give you exhaustion yet?
I've taken a level, but we haven't done the save for the other one.
Okay, so yeah, because you didn't sleep last night and you had this big fight, you take 1 level of exhaustion and then make a con save to maybe take a second.
18.
You pass, so you take 1 level of exhaustion.
Done.
Get your rest, kids. And what does first level do?
Disadvantage on skill checks, I believe. Boop, boop. Boop. Yep. Ability checks.
On ability checks, great. So but you do push through the front doors or the back doors of the stable, and you see there are long tables in here. There's lots of tools and lots of like trophies hung up on the wall. So you see lots of antlers of different creatures, different skeletons, a couple of like little taxidermied like minks and stuff. This area is, I think, probably pretty appealing to you.
Yeah. I think Bree's eyes definitely go wide. She looks around first, thinking that she's like surrounded by a bunch of different creatures. And
Yeah, you see like
realize-
an angry bear face and then like a scared elk and stuff as you look around. It's like,
Yeah.
it's the scene from Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
All of them, the bison, the elephant, they're all there.
You get an elephant. That's right.
A lot of interesting stuff up in these mountains. Yeah, so I have definitely a moment of dropping the wolf and grabbing a javelin before realizing that nothing is moving, and then dragging the rest of the wolf in, kind of eyeing up the area and and just making these noises of like interesting.
And you're gonna get to work on prepping that?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the pelt off and separate the meat, give the chunk of the meat that I know has poison in it, and like a pretty generous area around it, I think, as well, to make sure that the meat is not tainted, that we know.
Okay. So just do a survival check for that, but your background feature just allows you to do this, right? Is that
Yeah. I mean, yes. My racial feat allows me to create things from materials of slain creatures.
Okay.
As part of a short rest.
cool? So I'll say that you're okay to do that without a roll, just to figure out the poisoned area. Just do a survival or medicine.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a 6.
6? Okay. So you're not sure that you got it all, but you definitely get a section of poison.
Yeah.
So Vaelin will sort of like hesitatingly put out his hands to accept this like chunk of wolf flesh. I've never actually done this one before. We'll see how it goes. Oh dear. And he pulls out a little dagger from his pouch and starts cutting off like a smaller chunk of it.
Is he like crouched down on the ground?
Yeah, and is going to start casting a ritual.
Okay.
So yeah, spellbook comes out, orb comes out, starts drawing a couple of like runes in the ground, and starts muttering and humming.
Ben is inching closer to your back, and he slowly, like, kind of peering over your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you doing?
It's a divinatory spell. I'm imbuing this.
For looking?
Yes, this section of this corpse will have the ability to detect certain things that I granted the ability to. For those at home, I'm casting Dead Man's Tell from M.T. Black's Elminster's Guide to Divination. One of the homebrew spells that our gracious DM has allowed me to add to make divination more fun.
It's a cool spell.
So yeah, I will be imbuing this body part with divinatory power. Specifically, I'm choosing poison. It will activate when it is within 30 feet of poison or poisonous creatures. So the item, once this ritual is done, will violently spasm for 1 round.
It's gonna go off immediately.
And is it just a chunk of meat?
So this one's a chunk of meat because it's supposed to, like,
so gross.
Normally you're supposed to. I was going for an ear or something originally to be like not as horrific.
Yeah,
because it's like you're supposed to choose like a hand or a finger or a jaw or something, something that can like.
You have a whole leg though. Like you have like probably right down to the foot.
Yeah, no, it needs to be something I can carry around.
Can I make a request that you carve a small face into it?
Oh God!
I know Vaelin's not that much of a psychopath. I just want a little meat face, just going like poison, and then
Just
kill me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, frowning like Kermit.
I don't like it. No, there's poison here.
Oh God!
So Ben just goes, gross.
Yes, that's why I've hesitated to use it up until now.
What does your spellbook look like?
It's my it's
like
a
a
Legend of
adventure-
Azrakai. It looks
it's
like
an
it's like a
adventure
hardcover.
novel?
Yeah, it's a hardcover. A little bit bigger than like normal like novel size. But yeah, you see as I'm like leafing through pages, there's like the printed text in the center, and then in like red and ink around the edges are all my spells and notations and test results and whatnot.
See, as you're doing this, you do notice like Bree kind of constantly looking over, curious to be like how can you tell poison from this, you know? But is interestingly like trying to hide it, but very obviously being like, what's going on over there?
Cara's gonna be like helping Bree like straighten out limbs so that it's easier for her to cut the skin off. And things
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah. Cool. So you all get to work on that. Is there something else? Sorry.
No, that's
Okay.
it.
Oh, I think also I guess I would be for some of like the easier parts of the meat showing Ben.
Yeah, Ben kind of wanders over.
Yeah, but it's also like Bree is doing a good job at removing all the bones and the fur, but the meat is not being cut into like elegant cuts or anything. Like they're still pretty like raw chunks. There's no fanciness when it comes to the meat. Like the meat is still the meat. There's fat still attached to it. It's just like stripping the bones out and stripping the fur off.
Do I have to make a con save, not the yarf?
If you,
There's
I think
entrails.
other things too, where there's like I think there are certain things that I know people tend to roll for, like making good or bad decisions, or like, do I trip here, or like, do I yarf? If you think you'd yarf, you probably just yarf.
Yeah, I think Ben like definitely is like, ooh, like kind of gets a little distance, but it's kind of like now like paying more attention to Vaelin, and every now and then, like after Bree was like, see here, cut, best tendon, you know, or whatever, like Ben just is like, oh.
Yeah, and at some point you see Vaelin like pull out like a little wax candle and like light it, and you think at first it's part of the ritual, but he just starts sniffing it a lot.
Yeah, so this horror show continues as Bree and Cara like sort of nonchalantly tear this thing to shreds while the two of you yarf. Back at the inn, you sit there for another little while. Yuri, like this whole process over here is going to take quite some time. So I'd say you sit there for another like half an hour or so. Some of those hot
can we get a
drinks-
short rest?
Yes, you can definitely get a short rest.
Heck yeah.
And actually in the inn, sorry,
Even if I'm casting a ritual?
you're
So
going to have
11
time
minutes.
beyond that.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, because of the stripping.
Yeah.
The stripping.
Technically, my feat occurs over the course of a short rest, so.
Perfect.
Bree, I think it might be a good idea. I can use some magic to if there's any traces of poison, I can probably get rid of them.
Oh?
Yeah. If it's all just gather it all tight around me. Well,
And you see Bree is like taking up pieces of meat and just like, no, that's good. I think this bad. And it's just sort of two piles of like just literally sniffing it and like nibbling on it the tiniest bit.
So I think from your sort of like botched survival check,
Yeah.
all that means is that you, to be on the safe side, a lot of the meat was going to be wasted.
Yes.
So you can sort of give all that over.
and I'm gonna cast a ritual. Purify food and drink.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is technically going to be food.
Ben wanders over and pokes his head over your shoulder. What are you doing?
This is a type of magic that helps eliminate poisons and diseases from food.
That seems really helpful.
It's very practical.
Yeah. She says, elbows deep in blood.
I know a few lizards who would have greatly benefited from these. And Bree kind of chuckles a little, and you also just then see like a moment of sad reflection come over her as well.
What happened, Bree?
There's many dangers in jungle. Poison is just one of them.
I see.
So back in the inn, what's happening?
I tried to open this while that sand boat was happening, and there was just like a...
Oh, well, you had been slowly opening a beer. And nothing brightens up a dark moment like someone trying to open a beer or a bag of chips.
Yeah. Clink.
So in the inn, you're sitting around the fire. Yuri is playing a song. He's actually like sitting up in the front, and he's like, "Wolves in the mountains. Ah, woo, wolves in the mountains." And with that song, you can actually you can roll an extra hit dice on your short rest.
Sweet.
Um,
Well, I'm back to playing.
He's gonna use his bardic abilities for good for once.
This isn't echoing out across the whole village, though.
No, it's not.
Just
He's
for
not.
those in there.
Yeah. As that song sort of plays, you see the front door swing open, and Bridget comes in. And she is tucking a longsword back into a sheath on her back, and at the same time, like trying to fix her hair up, which looks a little mussed. And she steps in and looks around and sees, like, she has this kind of grim look on her face, and then she sees Yuri playing music and that the inn is still all in one piece, and her expression kind of softens a little bit.
Yeah, if she looks at me, I'll like give her a thumbs up and be like, I think all's well that ends well.
Yeah, I think she looks at you and stops what she's doing, and her hands kind of go back, and then when you give her the thumbs up, you can see her like relax a little bit, and she nods and starts to make her way back behind the bar.
In that nod, what did my passive insight pick up?
I think that's what you picked up,
Oh,
is
yeah.
that she was like hesitant when she first saw you, and then when you gave her a thumbs up, she relaxed a little bit. That's what you were concerned about,
Okay.
was that people were okay. So Star, you and Rowan both see her enter.
Okay.
And you, I guess Star, you sort of like glance over and you see Light looking at her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look at Rowan but don't say anything.
I'm gonna give it a couple seconds, I guess, of like Yuri's fabulous singing, and then I'm gonna get up. She went into the kitchen.
She sort of goes behind the bar, and you see her like go over and she checks in with Megan and her family when she sees them sort of being tended to, but she's perfectly fine now after Ben's cure wound spell. So with that
I'll go up to Bridget and I'll be like, thank you for helping out the town. That was good of you to participate. You're clearly well handled.
And she like looks you over, and she says, "Well, I've heard you all did quite a bit of good work out there. I hope you're all right."
Well, we're all fine. It was a team effort, absolutely.
Very good.
So, Bridget, what kind of training do you have with that big sword of yours?
She says, "Well, I spent some time fending for myself, so I suppose I have the type of training that people in your line of work may have. But it's a sad day when the violence befalls the town. But we live far away from the big cities, and this is part of the danger of living out in these areas."
I know, in my experience, anybody who's had to fend for themselves are mighty loyal to the friends that they make along the way. I appreciate that.
Well,
how about I give you a hand? A lot of these people are hungry and thirsty, and I know they've all had a few bangs. Why don't I give you a hand and serve up some drinks, and I can help you put some food together too?
That would be lovely.
All right. Well, you point the way, and I'll get working.
She steps into the back in the kitchen, and she says, "Actually, it seems like some people might be quite cold. I have some cloaks and blankets in the basement. Perhaps you could fetch those."
And I'll kind of give her a look over. Absolutely, I'll go grab those.
And you see her make her way over to start pouring drinks, but with your 18 perception, as you walk down the stairs, you see her lay the cup down and start to make her way to follow you.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And I'll continue. I'll pretend I didn't notice and continue on my way to get those close.
Hello, it's your Dungeon Mom, Mike Fardy. Thank you for listening to episode 17 of Wonders and Blunders. That's great, you did it, and now you're here. And I'm also here, but for a different reason. Thank you to everybody who's been talking to us on social media. It warms our little hearts every time we get to meet somebody new in the community. You've all been so great, and you've been spreading the word so much, and as a small podcast, it's really hard to get your name out there, and word of mouth is just, it's so nice. If you happen to be on social media, send us a message with your favorite moment from the show, and whatever character was responsible for that moment, we'll give them inspiration in an upcoming episode. I'm not giving them inspiration for any other reason than this. The only way that they'll get it is by you giving it to them, because if I TPK them, then the curse is passed on, and I get to play, and they have to DM. So go on social media, message us your favorite moments, break the curse, and free me. Free me from this imaginary prison that I imagined, and then trap myself in. But most of all, keep listening, keep being the best. We love you very much, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye!